In a large town there was an old woman who sat in the evening alone in her room, thinking how she had lost first her husband, then she lost both her children, then one by one how all her relations died, and on that very day how her last friend had passed away, and now she was quite alone and desolate. The old woman was very sad at heart. The far heaviest of all her losses was the death of her sons, and in her pain she blamed God for it. She was still sitting lost in thought when all at once she heard the bells ringing for morning prayer. She was surprised, for in her sorrow she had sat wide awake through the whole night. So she lighted her lantern and went to church. The church was already well lit when she arrived, but not as it usually was with wax candles, but instead with a dim light. It was also crowded already with people, and all the seats were filled, and when the old woman got to her usual place it also was not empty, the whole bench was entirely full. And when the old woman looked at the people, they were none other than her dead relations, who were sitting there in their old-fashioned garments, but with pale faces. They neither spoke nor sang, but a soft humming and whispering was heard all over the church. Then an aunt of hers stood up, stepped forward, and said to the poor old woman, "Look there beside the altar, and thou wilt see thy sons." The old woman looked there and saw her 2 children, one hanging on the gallows, the other bound to the wheel. Then said the aunt, "Behold, so would it have been with them if they had lived, and if the good God had not taken them to himself when they were innocent children, they would be bound to hell." The old woman went trembling home, and on her knees thanked God for having dealt with her more kindly than she had been able to understand. And on the 3rd day she lay down and died, and was reunited with her 2 sons in heaven.